Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and felt the warm, steady weight of your dog pressed against your legs? Not at the foot of the bed where you put them. Not on their own bed across the room where you spent 20 minutes convincing them to settle before you turned the light off. Right there. Pressed against the side of your leg, or curled into the curve behind your knees, or with their head resting on your hip. Warm and heavy and completely, perfectly still. And in that half-awake moment, before you fully registered what woke you, before you thought about the time or whether you had work tomorrow or any of the thousand things the waking brain reaches for immediately, you felt something else. Something simple and enormous at the same time. You felt chosen. Because out of everything in the world available to your dog in that moment, the cool floor, their own comfortable bed, the couch they are technically not supposed to be on, out of all of it, they chose the 6 inches of mattress pressed against your leg. In the middle of the night, while you were unconscious and offering them nothing except your warmth and your presence, they migrated toward you. They found you. And they stayed. And you probably smiled in the dark. And you probably did not move. Because something about disturbing that moment felt like it would cost you something you could not name. But here is what almost nobody tells dog owners about that moment. About the nightly migration. About the pressed against you, won't sleep anywhere else, has to be touching you sleeping behavior that millions of dog owners experience, and almost all of them interpret the same way. They think it means their dog loves them. And they are right. But it means something far more specific than love. It means something that once you understand it completely, once you hear the actual science and the actual behavioral biology behind why your dog chooses to sleep pressed against your body specifically, will change how you feel about every single night you have ever spent with that warm weight against your leg. And more importantly, it will teach you something about what your dog needs from you that goes far beyond a place to sleep. Hello everyone. I am Dr. Daniel Marsh, and welcome back to Paw Secrets Lab. I have spent over 15 years in veterinary behavioral medicine and canine cognition research. The science of how dogs bond, communicate, and express their emotional and physiological needs through physical contact and proximity behavior is something I have studied clinically and academically for my entire professional career. And I want to tell you something that most dog owners never get to hear from someone who studies this professionally. The way your dog sleeps is not random. It is not simply about comfort. It is not habit or coincidence, or the fact that you happen to be the warmest thing in the room. Every choice your dog makes about where they sleep, who they sleep near, what position they adopt, and how much contact they maintain, is a precise behavioral communication. A specific message being delivered in the only language your dog has available to them while you are both lying in the dark. What if I told you that researchers studying canine attachment behavior have identified 5 distinct messages that dogs communicate specifically through pressed body sleep contact? And what if each of those 5 messages, when you understand it correctly, tells you something specific and actionable about your dog's emotional state, their physical health, their relationship security, and the one thing they need from you that they have been expressing through their sleeping position every single night? Today at Paw Secrets Lab, we are going to decode every single one of those messages completely. Here is exactly what we are covering. In Chapter 1, I am going to explain the pack sleep biology. You are going to understand the ancient, evolutionary science behind why dogs are neurologically compelled toward contact sleep and why sleeping pressed against you specifically is the highest expression of that drive. In Chapter 2, I am going to reveal the 5 messages. These are the 5 specific communications your dog sends through their pressed body sleep behavior, each with its own distinguishing characteristics, and each telling you something different about what they need. In Chapter 3, I am going to teach you the sleep position decoder. This is the specific framework for reading not just that your dog sleeps against you, but exactly how they position themselves, and what each position variation communicates beyond the basic contact. And in Chapter 4, I will tell you the specific sleep behavior changes that are not just communication but warning signals that require your attention during waking hours. Subscribe to Paw Secrets Lab right now and join our extraordinary, growing community of educated, devoted dog parents. Get something to write with because what you learn tonight is going to change how you experience every night you spend with your dog from this point forward. Let us begin. Welcome to Chapter 1. The Pack Sleep Biology. To understand why your dog presses against you when they sleep, we need to go back to the biological foundation of everything dogs are. Because the sleeping behavior you witness every night in your bedroom is not a domestic quirk. It is an ancient, perfectly preserved behavioral program that has been running in canines for tens of thousands of years. Dogs are descended from wolves. And wolves are one of the most sophisticated cooperative social animals on the planet. Unlike cats, which are fundamentally solitary and come together only for mating and brief social interactions, wolves live in family groups where every significant biological activity, including feeding, hunting, raising young, defending territory, and sleeping, is conducted collectively. The pack is not a convenience for wolves. It is their survival infrastructure. And sleeping together is not the least important of those collective activities. It is arguably one of the most biologically significant. Here is why. Sleep is the period of maximum vulnerability for any animal. Consciousness is reduced. Sensory awareness is diminished. Reflexes are slower. The ability to detect and respond to threats is at its lowest point during deep sleep. For a solitary animal, this vulnerability is an unavoidable risk that they manage through concealment, exactly as we discussed in our cat hiding video. But for a pack animal, this vulnerability has an extraordinary solution. They eliminate it collectively. When wolves sleep together in physical contact, the pack functions as a distributed sensory network even during sleep. Individual members cycle through lighter and deeper sleep phases at slightly different times. The collective group maintains partial sensory coverage of the environment throughout the night. Any threat that approaches is detected by whichever member is currently in a lighter sleep phase, and their response, a shift, a lift of the head, a low vocalization, propagates through the physical contact of the sleeping group immediately. Every member wakes and is oriented to the threat in seconds. Contact sleep is not affection in wolves. It is a survival system of extraordinary biological elegance. Your domestic dog carries this entire program intact. Every single neurological pathway that makes contact sleep feel safe. You are not just their sleeping companion. You are their biological safety system. And they are yours, whether you knew it or not. But here is where it becomes even more extraordinary. Researchers studying the neuroscience of dog-human bonding have found that the direction of this biological benefit is not one way. Human subjects sleeping in proximity to trusted dogs show measurable reductions in nocturnal cortisol secretion, lower resting heart rates, and higher proportions of restorative slow-wave sleep compared to nights without canine contact. The ancient pack sleep biology activates in both directions. Your dog is not just seeking safety from you. They are providing it to you simultaneously. Both of you sleep better. Both of you restore more completely. Both of you are calmer in the morning. You chose each other in the dark. And your bodies knew it was the right choice before your waking minds ever thought about it. Welcome to Chapter 2. What your dog is specifically telling you. Now that you understand the biological foundation of contact sleep, I am going to walk you through the 5 specific messages that your dog communicates through sleeping pressed against your body. Each message is distinct. Each has specific behavioral characteristics that allow you to identify which message is primary on any given night. And each tells you something specific about what your dog needs from you. Message number 1. You are my safe person. This is the foundational message beneath every other message in this list. And understanding it requires understanding something specific about canine attachment theory that most dog owners have never been exposed to. Dogs form attachment bonds with their primary caregivers that are neurologically and behaviorally almost identical to the attachment bonds that human infants form with their primary caregivers. This finding was not assumed. It was measured. Researchers at the Family Dog Project in Budapest used the exact same strange situation procedure that developmental psychologists use to assess infant caregiver attachment, and applied it to dogs and their owners. The results were unambiguous. Dogs showed the same secure base effect, the same distress at separation, and the same comfort and reassurance seeking upon reunion that human infants show with their primary attachment figures. When your dog is not being clingy when they sleep against you, they are expressing the highest form of trust that the canine attachment system is capable of producing. Message number 2. I am protecting you right now. This message surprises most people and deeply moves them when they understand it fully. Contact sleep in the pack is not passive. It is not simply about comfort and warmth. It is an active protective behavior. When your dog positions their body against yours during sleep, particularly when they face outward toward the room or the door rather than facing you, they are orienting themselves between you and the environment. Their sensory systems are monitoring the space you cannot see while you sleep. Every sound that enters the room, every change in air pressure, every unfamiliar olfactory signal, passes through your dog's sleeping sensory awareness before it could ever reach you. Your dog has appointed themselves your night watch. Not because you asked? Not because they were trained to. But because the ancient pack biology that says the stronger members protect the more vulnerable members during sleep activated in your dog. And in the context of your relationship, in the hierarchy of emotional importance that your dog has constructed around the people in their life, protecting you while you sleep is not a burden. It is an honor. The next time your dog positions themselves between you and the bedroom door, understand that they are not looking for an escape route. They are covering your six. They are doing exactly what their biology designed them to do for the most important member of their pack. Message number 3. I need reassurance tonight. Not every night of pressed against you sleeping carries the same emotional weight. Dogs sleep with varying degrees of pressed contact depending on their current emotional state. And there are specific nights when the contact is closer, the lean is heavier, and the need to maintain physical connection is stronger than usual. These nights are communicating something different from the baseline attachment message. When your dog presses harder than usual, when they follow you if you shift position rather than staying where they were, when they seem to need the contact rather than simply preferring it, they are experiencing a higher than baseline state of anxiety or emotional need. Something in their day, or something in their environment, or something in your emotional state that they detected, has elevated their need for reassurance. Dogs are exquisitely sensitive to human emotional states. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is detectable in human sweat at concentrations that dogs can identify with their extraordinary olfactory systems. When you are stressed, anxious, grieving, or emotionally activated, your dog smells it. And their response to the detected elevation in your stress chemistry is frequently to increase physical contact. They press closer not only because they are seeking reassurance for themselves but because their social bonding instincts tell them that close physical contact is also what you need. They are self-medicating and simultaneously medicating you with the same behavioral tool. Pay attention to the nights when the contact feels different. Closer. More deliberate. More sustained. Those nights, your dog is telling you something specific about the emotional atmosphere of your household. And they are offering you the only comfort they know how to give. Message number 4. Something feels different in my body. This is the message that carries the most clinical significance. And it is the one that most owners miss because the behavior itself, sleeping closer than usual, is so easily attributed to the affection and emotional meanings of the first 3 messages. Dogs with developing physical discomfort, whether from early joint pain, digestive discomfort, neurological changes, hormonal shifts, or any other physiological process that disrupts their normal internal equilibrium, frequently increase their contact sleep behavior before any other symptom becomes visible. The biological reason is elegant. When the body feels internally unsafe, the pack safety system activates. The dog seeks the contact that their biology associates with safety and protection during vulnerability. They press closer. They maintain contact more insistently. They follow you more closely in the nighttime hours. And what looks like increased affection is actually the body's ancient response to internal vulnerability communicating itself through the only behavioral channel available. The clinical indicator that separates this message from emotional reassurance seeking is the presence of other subtle changes alongside the increased contact. Is your dog getting up more during the night to shift position? Are they having difficulty finding a comfortable posture before settling? Are they licking specific body areas during the night? Are they waking earlier than usual and appearing restless before their normal wake time? Any combination of increased contact sleep alongside these specific behavioral changes warrants a veterinary health check. Your dog is not just seeking comfort. They are seeking safety because something internal has changed. Message number 5. This is who we are. This final message is the one that does not require a response or an action. It is simply the truth of what has been built between you and your dog over the entire history of your relationship. Dogs are creatures of ritual and consistency. The routines that develop between a dog and their human become embedded in the dog's daily and nightly expectation patterns at a neurological level. The specific configuration of bodies in the dark, your position, their position, the specific pressure of their weight against your specific body part, the particular smell of your skin in your bedding and the room you share, all of it becomes part of the neurological definition of home and safety and rightness for your dog. When your dog presses against you in the night, after months and years of sharing that space, they are not just expressing a feeling. They are participating in a ritual that has become part of the architecture of their sense of safety in the world. You are not just their person. You are their place. And sleeping pressed against you is how they return to that place every single night, regardless of what the day brought, regardless of what is happening in the external world, regardless of anything. That is the deepest message. And it requires nothing from you except to be there. Welcome to Chapter 3. The Sleep Position Decoder. Now that you understand the 5 messages, I am going to give you the specific position reading framework that tells you which message is dominant on any given night. Because where your dog presses against you, and how they orient their body, provides additional layers of communication beyond the basic contact. Position 1. Pressed against your back. When your dog presses against your back while you sleep on your side, they are positioning themselves in the most protected position available to them while simultaneously covering the space behind you. Their body is oriented so that they face outward from the bed, monitoring the room while you face the wall. This is the classic protective sleep configuration. Message 2, the protective message, is the primary communication in this position. Your dog has appointed themselves your rear guard. Position 2. Curled into the bend of your knees. The back of the knees is one of the warmest points of contact on a sleeping human body. It is also a relatively enclosed, surrounded position that provides the dog with the sensation of being sheltered on multiple sides simultaneously. Dogs who curl into this position are expressing the foundational attachment message, message 1, combined with the highest comfort and security association. This position typically indicates a dog who is in a state of deep emotional security and contentment. They are not alert. They are not seeking reassurance. They are simply completely, perfectly safe. Position 3. Head or chest resting on your body. When your dog rests their head on your chest, your stomach, or your legs rather than simply pressing their body against you, they are seeking the specific sensory input that direct contact with a human body provides. Your heartbeat. Your breathing rhythm. Your specific body warmth. Dogs who rest their head directly on a human body during sleep have been documented in behavioral research to spend more time in the lightest sleep stage, not because they are restless, but because they are maintaining a higher level of sensory awareness of your physiological state. They are monitoring you. This position is associated most strongly with message 3 and message 4. The dog who puts their head on your chest is checking on you as much as resting against you. Position 4. Pressed against the legs or feet. Dogs who sleep pressed against the legs or feet rather than the upper body are typically expressing territorial boundary sleeping. They are at the perimeter of the shared sleeping space, facing outward toward the room. This is the watchdog position. They want contact that confirms pack cohesion, but they are also orienting their primary sensory attention outward toward the environmental space they feel responsible for monitoring. Message 2 is the dominant communication in this position. Position 5. The full body press. When your dog presses their entire body length against yours with maximum surface contact, they are in the highest intensity contact configuration available within the sleep environment. This position is most often seen in dogs expressing message 3, the reassurance-seeking message, or message 4, the physical discomfort message. The maximized contact surface is the body's way of maximizing the biological comfort of the pack's safety signal. More contact means more safety signal. The dog who full body presses against you in the night needs something tonight that their normal contact level does not fully provide. Pay particular attention on the nights when the full body press appears and it is not their usual pattern. Welcome to Chapter 4. Sleep behavior changes that need your attention. Everything in this video has been about understanding the beautiful, ancient communication in your dog's contact sleep behavior. But I have a professional responsibility to tell you clearly when specific changes in your dog's sleep behavior are not just communication but warning signals. If your dog has always slept against you and suddenly stops, choosing to sleep alone or in a different room consistently for more than 3 or 4 days, this withdrawal from contact sleep is a significant behavioral change. Dogs withdraw from pack contact when they are experiencing pain that makes contact uncomfortable, when they are experiencing nausea or significant gastrointestinal distress, or when they are in a state of psychological withdrawal associated with depression or serious illness. Sudden withdrawal from previously consistent contact sleep warrants a veterinary health check within the week. If your dog is getting up repeatedly during the night, circling before lying down, unable to settle into a comfortable position for more than a few minutes at a time, these nighttime restlessness behaviors indicate physical discomfort, most commonly joint pain, gastrointestinal discomfort, or neurological symptoms. This is not insomnia. This is a pain behavior that needs daytime veterinary assessment. If your dog is pressing against you with unusual urgency and also showing any of these signs during waking hours, panting at night when the room is not hot, trembling, appearing disoriented, or showing changes in their breathing pattern during sleep, these combinations require veterinary assessment this week rather than routine monitoring. If your dog, who has always slept peacefully, begins showing aggression or extreme startle responses when touched during sleep, being accidentally woken by contact produces a sharp snap or cry, this sleep startle aggression is frequently associated with pain, with cognitive dysfunction syndrome in older dogs, or with neurological changes. Do not normalize this. It is not bad behavior. It is a medical symptom. And if your senior dog has begun sleeping dramatically more than usual alongside reduced contact sleep, the combination of increased total sleep duration and reduced social sleep contact in an older dog can indicate cognitive dysfunction syndrome, the canine equivalent of dementia, or the early progression of a systemic illness. Both warrant prompt veterinary attention. You came here tonight because of a feeling. Not a worry exactly. Not a problem. A feeling that warm weight against your leg in the middle of the night produces without fail, every time, no matter how many years it has been happening. A feeling you could not quite name but could not ignore. And what you found here was the name for it. That warm weight is 10,000 years of evolution expressing itself in 6 inches of pressed contact in the dark. It is the pack sleep biology that kept wolves alive through winters and predators and every threat the natural world could produce, alive and intact and perfect in the body of the dog who chose your leg over every other surface available to them tonight. It is your dog telling you that you are their safe person. That protecting you while you sleep is not a task but an identity. That on the nights when something feels different in their body or their heart, you are the place they come to because you are the safest place they know. And that after all the days and months and years of shared routine, sleeping pressed against you is not just what they do. It is who they are with you. You are not just a dog owner. You are someone's pack. Someone's safe place. Someone's entire definition of home and rightness, and the feeling that the night is survivable and good. You are that for a living creature who communicates it to you every single night in the only language available to them, while you are both unconscious and trusting and perfectly still in the dark. That is not nothing. That is one of the most profound things one creature can say to another. Tell me in the comments below. Where does your dog sleep against you? Is it the back of your knees pressed against your back, their head on your chest? And after learning the 5 messages and the sleep position decoder tonight, what do you think your dog has been telling you all this time? I read every single comment. And your answer is going to make every other dog owner reading these comments look at the warm weight against their leg tonight with completely new eyes. If this masterclass gave you a deeper understanding of something you already loved, if it put language and science around a feeling you have been carrying for years without quite knowing what to call it, please tap the like button. It tells the YouTube algorithm that the science of canine love and communication deserves to reach every dog owner who has ever lain awake in the dark smiling because their dog chose them again. Subscribe to Paw Secrets Lab and join our incredible, warm, growing community of educated dog parents who want to understand their animals at the deepest possible level. I am Dr. Daniel Marsh. Tonight, when you feel that weight settle against you in the dark, you will know exactly what it means. All 5 messages. Every position. The ancient biology and the specific love of your specific dog communicating something specific to you. Feel it completely. You have earned every word of it. I will see you in the very next video.